This new entry into Volvo's lineup, the EX30, is the fastest Volvo ever made. It's also one of the most affordable, but you're still gonna need duct tape to fix it. Make sure to stay to the end because we're gonna look for deals in the area on the EX30. We'll also put on the spreadsheet and compare to other cars I've driven so far in 2025 and see how it stacks up. 422 horsepower, 400 pound-feet of torque in the twin motor configuration here on the EX30. It will do a 0 to 60 here in a little bit. I haven't tested it yet, but this thing is supposed to be able to it could crack 3.5 seconds, which is just absurd. It would instantly make it one of the fastest vehicles I've ever reviewed on the channel. As we walk around the EX30, it is gorgeous. It kind of reminds me of the old C30, that cute hatchback that Volvo had those years back. When I was in college, that was one of the coolest looking vehicles on the road, and I would say, as still a lover of hatchbacks, this gives me that hatchback vibe. It kind of looks like a 3-door. Obviously it's a 5-door, but with the sloping roofline and the minimal amount of cargo space and passenger space, kind of feels like a 3-door. It's very, very tiny when you're driving. The overhangs are tiny. We have those Thor's Hammer daytime running lights, which is a Volvo signature. I mean, this thing looks classic Volvo up front. Minimal, sharp, sleek, beautiful. There's no grille really. I mean, very minimal airflow. Obviously, this thing is gonna be very aerodynamic. We have 19-inch wheels here on this twin motor. I love this moss yellow. And the other color I really like is a blue. It's kind of like a nice light sky blue. The yellow is where I would be getting this vehicle. I think it looks amazing in yellow. It's kind of a pastel yellow. It's really, really beautiful. You got the EX30 badging in the C-pillar area there. The sloping roof line, the brake lights look really, really nice. Kind of that classic Volvo XC90 D-pillar taillight. And this kind of feels a little bit Polestar, the rectangular accent here on the back. All right, so let's get in the back. Let's check out the cargo capacity here. Now you can fold down the seats 60/40. This comes with its own charger, which is quite nice. And it does adapt from 120 volt to 240 volt. They give you that adapter, so I appreciate that. Tonneau cover. We should talk about charging here. It's still CCS level 1. It can charge at 153 kilowatts of fast charging on DC, and then it'll charge at 11 kilowatts for AC charging. If you guys want to check under the hood real quick, you need a double pull. Not a lot to see under here, and not even any deadening material up top here, but there's no engine noise, so you really don't need it. Tiny frunk. I guess you could put the charger in there if you wanted to. And look at that little Easter egg with the moose, the clouds, the trees, and the little EX30 being so eco-friendly. Also, I can talk about battery real quick. We do have a 69 kilowatt hour battery. I believe 64 of that is usable. There is a smaller battery pack option globally. I'll have to double check to see if that's going to be available in the United States. It's not at the time of this recording. And dual motor is standard here with the 422 horsepower. Eventually the rear wheel drive with 258 horsepower, so will be coming to the United States market. Into the back seat, and by the way, oh, there's a little spider in there. Let's get him out of there, little spider. But yeah, these door slams sound really, really solid. And we have that wool interior. I think that, well, the kids were back here. We had I think we picked up some chickens. All right, we did get chickens for the new property. So chickens have been in this vehicle and it got them safely to our residence. But these seats, the wool seats, are absolutely beautiful. You see these in the more expensive Volvos as well. Of course, we have that here on this model. Let's go ahead and get into the back seat. And it's tight. This seat is set up for me at 6'1", and you can see, like, my knees are pressed in. I like the kind of that yellow liner to the mat pocket. But yeah, my feet are under the seat. Headroom. It's not bad. And that panel roof, it is spectacular in here. There is no shade for it, and so I will see every ounce of dirt and dust on here, and it does feel like there's a film on it to reduce the amount of sun coming in. But yeah, I'm gonna have to wipe this off with my pressure washer. Check the description below if you want to see what I used to wash my cars down. In the back seat, I do have buttons here for the windows. All right. I don't have buttons for the windows in the front seat, which I'll talk more about here in a little bit. I like auto up and auto down, one touch. I like the little deck of cards or phone holder there. You also have storage down here with the removable tray. Hey, more Easter eggs. Hey, but cup holder situation, well, you're not gonna have it here. Sorry to burst your bubble, guys. I mean, not even the doors have cup holders. So unless I'm missing something, I don't see any cup holders here for the back passengers, which is, well, I guess you just slot your cup in here. What's wrong with that? A little light up top as well as a hanger attachment. Getting out is actually pretty easy. Sometimes in these subcompact crossovers, it can be a penalty box getting in and out. All right, get into the front door. This is my key for this vehicle. I don't know if it has other keys to it. I think it comes with 2 of these and maybe a digital key for your phone. I'm not quite sure, but I have to put the phone, or sorry, not the phone, the key card right here. That just turned the car off because it was running. I was keeping the AC running on it. All right, and if it's in your pocket or your wallet or whatever, and you try to unlock the door with your hand or even this button right here, it doesn't do anything. At least for me, with this sort of key, but then at least it gives me a nice Volvo keychain and a leather or leatherette pad. I have to put it up here. It unlocks the car. And the issue I have as well in the back, there's no sensor for it that I could find. And so when the car's locked, I can't really get back there. I have to unlock the car first from up there and then get into the cargo area. Back doors, this front door slams really nicely, very luxurious, feels very heavy, very quality. And you see the duct tape down there. We're getting closer to it, guys. Again, the wool seats, I could just live in these things. I want them for my house. I want them for my computer chair. All right. Oh, and yeah, I'm used to getting into Volvo or Polestar EVs and the car just turning on because of the key fob. Well, I have to put it down here, kind of where the wireless phone charger is. Can I put it in drive? There we go. There we go. Let me move the steering wheel. Let's go put it back into park. The parking sensors are going crazy. I just have one option on this model. It's chiming at me because I don't have my seatbelt on. But I just have one option in here, and that gives me the 360 camera. And there it is. It's giving us a little walk around of the car. Doesn't have the color right. Can we switch the color on it? Oh, no. No. It's literally meaningless, but I would like to have customization there on that 360 camera. Parking assist, well, there are no parking slots out here, so I'm not going to use that. Well, okay, so where to start with this interior? It's so minimal. We'll leave the screen for last, I guess, and work our way around. All right, so big armrest here. I don't believe this opens, but again, you have all this storage underneath and this hideable storage area where you have USB-Cs down there. So total of 4 USB-Cs in the car. You have a wireless charger there. Again, I think you can just have this here. Yeah, so you can use that. Geez, the parking sensors are very loud. Can I, yeah, it's just really loud. You can't adjust the volume there. Anyways, you put the key down here and then you can wirelessly charge your phone there. This is the cup holder area, obviously, and it's completely tuck-awayable, or you can do a double cup holder situation. Also, you can get that out of the way if you want for more of a tray experience. I like this collapsing thing. I do. I really, really like it. Okay, so I just have one cup with me, obviously. Here's my window controls. Auto up, auto down, just like the back, but I have to click rear first and make sure it's illuminated before I can control the rear windows. The rear windows don't have their own switches. Now, luckily, I still have seat control here, and I can tilt the top cushion with it. I can move this. I can raise and lower the seat, all with this one kind of square-like dial down here. I really appreciate that instead of being tucked into the screen, because it is tucked into the screen is just about everything. Now, it's very Tesla-like in that regard. I don't even have another screen to show me my speed. I always have to look up to this area to see the speed when I'm driving. But like the mirrors, for example, to get to the mirrors, I have to click the car icon and then get to the mirrors, and then I can use the buttons here on the steering wheel to adjust my mirrors, which is kind of cool. I mean, how often are you, I do have auto folding mirrors, which I do like, okay, but how often are you playing with your mirrors? Not often, if this is a one-person driver. Now, I guess the key fobs could save your mirror preferences, for example, per key fob. I guess that's a reality. I would assume so anyways. We also have ambiance. You have different lighting, which is not going to show up in here. I took a picture of I think it was the Northern Lights interior color the other night. Okay, the lighting in here is really good at nighttime, by the way. I won't be driving this at night. one pedal drive here, and then driver alert, okay? This is where the duct tape comes in. The driver alert, even if you disable it, it's on every single time you start the car. Here's my duct tape. It's over this sensor here, but every single time that sensor is on when you start the car. So what I was having to do initially was okay, it's giving me issues with the key right now. So there we go. So that's the thing, I had to put the key here where the wireless charger is, and that kind of like limits your usability. So we'll just stick our duct tape there. So what I was having to do before I figured out a shortcut and an additional shortcut to kill the the driver attention monitor, there's a dragonfly flying around the Volvo, and it was setting off the proximity sensors. Oh, there it is. The car does not like that dragonfly. So you have to go to view all and then go to driver alert, and then you want to turn that off. Everything's done through the touchscreen. There are no controls, physical controls. All right, so gosh, I'm gonna have to turn off the proximity. It could be a little blade of grass. It could be a blade of grass throwing off the sensors. Okay, so just put it into reverse real quick to defeat the sensor noise anyways. All right, so we're back into viewing our safety assistance. And yeah, driver alert turns back on every single time you turn the car off or on. All right, so it's a default for the European market, and it drives me bonkers, okay? Then I found a shortcut to it, and the shortcut, if you just go to the car here, let's go back to the car, the driver alert's right there. So that was the shortcut. It's still way too naggy for me. I would have to do that every time I turn the car on until I tried the duct tape trick. And the duct tape over the sensors here is the game changer. It doesn't bother you at all. I think on Etsy you can find, 3D printed ones that are a little bit fancier than this, but hey, I'm just reviewing it for a week. We do have a sound bar. Volvo wanted to reduce the wiring in this vehicle, hence why we have simple window controls here. Instead of 4, we have 2, and then the sound bar sounds actually quite good. I'm happy with it. I don't mind. Yes, do I want more bass? Of course. But overall, I think most people are going to be happy the soundbar gets pretty loud. All right, onto the steering wheel, and then we'll talk more about this setup as we go. It's pretty minimal. This is your drive select back here. Push down to drive, push into park. There's also one pedal driving, and I guess I told you, I'm good. I said I was done with the screen, but you do have to play with it quite a bit, to be honest, to get the settings dialed in. All right, so one pedal drive, I leave that on. I love Volvo's one pedal driving. I like firm steering feel. You can have performance all-wheel drive. It disables your one pedal drive though, but we will turn that on for our 0 to 60, but it does intelligently turn on the front motor when you need that extra power. So I haven't really been playing with that at all, to be honest. All right, so windshield wiper controls, you press and hold to turn on the washer in the back, or you just press once to turn it on intermittently. You do have auto wipers in here, which again, you can customize those through the touchscreen, but yeah, you can clean your front windshield by pressing and holding that button. Should we get a little, yeah. What about the back? Press and hold. Oh, look at her go. Oh yeah. Okay, so the steering wheel, we do have real buttons, I guess. It's a combination of like proximity sensor, because if you look up here, it kind of knows where my thumb is, all right, as I slide my thumb around. The problem I have with it is that once you set cruise control, there's no way to set it back at a lower speed. There is no Android Auto in here, by the way. There's only Apple CarPlay for phone connectivity, which drives me nuts as a Pixel user. There's no volume knob, but you can use this to adjust your volume. Also the touchscreen. There you go. I think I'm ready to start driving the Volvo EX30, and let's start with that 0 to 60. The driver attention monitor, even though I have it blocked off, it's still telling me bad things. All right, but we're gonna do a 0 to 60 here and go. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, that was 60. Let's get onto the brakes. That happened so fast. 0 to 60 in 3.56. Conditions aren't that great either, meaning this is not like a prep surface. I don't care to go 0 to 60s any faster. So there you have it. It's a 3.5 second 0 to 60 car, even on like potholey roads, which is just crazy how fast this thing is. It is the fastest Volvo by far. Now, the plug-in hybrids are fast, 4.5 seconds. That's plenty fast for me. So I don't know why Volvo needed to put this much power in it. Hey, I'm not going to ask why. I'm happy that they did, because that's what electrification affords you. You can put so much power into a small package, and it doesn't cost you that much comparatively if you were to do it on a gas car, right? Yeah, it's just bonkers fast. I'm going to turn performance all-wheel drive off because I don't need it anymore. All right, I think I'd be happy with the rear-wheel drive version of this. That goes 0 to 60 in about 5 seconds, which is faster than just about everything else on the road. Like, if you need to pass people, even in this car, just pedal down, and it just goes. It pulls really, really hard. Okay, so I'm done testing that. I want to talk about the range here. All right, the range is what I'm a little worried about. Or should I say the efficiency, which the range, of course, is a factor there. Efficiency, one, driver, it wasn't doing this earlier when I put the duct tape on there. So I don't know why it's saying driver monitor obstruction blocked, because it didn't sense that early. Everything's okay now, right? I removed it and it said everything's okay. Everything's not okay, because I don't want that nannying me all the time. Okay, maybe I had to flip my tape. Nope, that didn't do it either. All right, so it was working for about an hour before, and now it's not working. You guys will tell me that own this vehicle, you will tell me the workaround to this. I had it working earlier. All right, but back to the efficiency here. 29 kilowatt hours per 100 miles. Okay, I essentially will just do the math on the screen for you guys. That's what I'm averaging, and it doesn't, you know, for a smaller vehicle, I know it's fast as heck, but it doesn't get that great of efficiency. We're looking at 3.4 miles per kilowatt hour on average. I have seen a little bit better at times, down to 27.5 kilowatt hours per 100 miles, but when I need to defrost the window in the morning, it takes a lot out of the battery. So that's averaged in to get me to the 29, which is 3.4 miles per kilowatt hour. Anyways, multiply that by the 64 kilowatt hour battery, and that gets us essentially 220 miles of range. I really want to test a rear wheel drive model to see how much more efficiency I can gain from removing the weight and the power sapping of the front motor. I'm really curious. I don't think it might be quite a bit better. Maybe I'll get 260 miles of range or something. And my efficiency could get closer to 4 miles per kilowatt hour. But it is just, that's a little bit disappointing, all right, that I can only get about 3.4 miles per kilowatt hour on this thing for it being so small. However, I do have a rocket ship, so I shouldn't be too hard on it, because if I look at something that accelerates as fast as this, which is the Ioniq 5N, that gets like 2.2 miles per kilowatt hour. However, the tires, like the grip on that, the handling on that, it's just a so much more capable vehicle. This does not have, other than straight line performance, it doesn't feel like a performance car. It's kind of weird to say that, but like the one pedal driving here is really weak. The regen that's braked in is pretty minimal, all right? I have to use my brakes most of the time to assist the energy recuperation braking. All right, so like if you just want to get around people for driving a little bit silly, there you go, easy, done. You'll do it to every single car on the road. So there it is again. If all you care about is dusting people in a Volvo, I mean, this will do it. Now, the old XC40 recharges as well, those would do 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds. Those would dust out just about everything on the road as well. No, I have no issue seeing out of the back window here. So Volvo's done a good job with the visibility for such a small vehicle too. When I'm in the driver's seat, I don't feel cramped. I feel like I have plenty of space. It's really a driver-focused car, and passengers, especially in the back seat, are an afterthought. However, I was able to fit 3 of my kids back there, so, you know, small people are allowed. It's a pretty tight U-turn, as I would expect from a Volvo vehicle, especially a small one like this. All right, so my cover is not working like it was earlier, so we're just gonna have to manually override. Wait, driver alert's off. So let me turn it back on. It was off the whole time and it was still telling me that it was blocked. So weird, right? Now it's telling me it's blocked and it's on. So I'll I'm just turning it off. Man, that's been a frustrating thing for me in this car. Like I said, it was working for about an hour before I started recording, and then the unfortunate reality is that it caught me. It caught me cheating the eyeball sensor thing. And like I said, you have to go to the car menu and turn it off there now. And there's your rain sensitivity. Oh, I forgot about the glove box. Your glove box is right here. So if you guys, yeah, there's no button for it. It's a touchscreen activation. And you know, there's no way for me to put my efficiency or energy consumption on this screen up here. It's only, you know, you have your range, you have your battery, you also have the safety things up here, which you can get rid of it. I think with pressing this button, it minimizes the safety feature readout, but like I want my efficiency up there. So for example, if you have your Google Maps up, you will not have your efficiency up. There's no way to put it up there while you have maps up. To me, it's very, very frustrating because I like, when I'm an electric vehicle or a hybrid, I really want to know what my fuel economy is or my energy efficiency. All right, cruise control. It works great. The lane centering is great. However, there's no way for me to cancel it that I can figure out without using my brake, all right? I just pressed down on the drive button and that canceled it. So that's nice that I can cancel it that way. I'm still learning about it, but there's no button on the steering wheel to cancel your cruise control. All right, and once you cancel it, the one pedal driving turns on, which is great. All right, that's what I like. And it doesn't come on too abruptly. Volvo really smooths in the regen braking when you get off cruise control. All right, but as you can see here, like it's stuck at 52. All right, once I resume, like for example, if I resume, I can do it at a stop here. All right, but like this is just all workarounds to reduce your speed. All right, because if you press resume and you were doing 65 cruise control, now you want to do 45 cruise control, you can't just press cruise control again because it will go back to 65 instead of the 45 you're going. So you have to re-engage it and then like adjust the speed by pressing the buttons. Okay, it's too much nannying for me. And I understand that this vehicle is not going to be doing that much driving on the highway due to its limited range, but still, it's a bit frustrating that I don't have a way to easily cancel and reset my speed for, like for example, all right, I want to show you guys while I do this. All right, for example, I have it set to 60. It's not going to get there because it's not, the car in front of me is not doing that. But if I wanted to set 45, I can't just go to 45 miles an hour. I'll show you, I'll do it. I'll go to 45 miles an hour, hit the brake to cancel it, okay? Here's 48. I can't just press the same button again because it'll go back up to 60. All right, so I can't like reset my my speed on my cruise control very easily. All right, I can adjust it pretty easily, but resetting it at a new speed is just not doable. I'll rest my case there. I don't know if I made any sense, but the cruise control is a bit finicky in here for adjusting the speed to a new speed that's different than your prior speed. All right, let's talk about comfort. Well, the seats are comfortable. I'm comfortable in here. The ride is a bit firm when you hit rough road. What do you expect from a battery electric vehicle that are inherently heavy? The handling is good, I would say. Even for a BEV, I would say it's better than average because for a EV, it doesn't weigh all that much. And the vents in here, while they look nice, honestly, they're not good at all at directing air towards your face. I can never get like my face cooled down properly, especially if this car's been sitting in the sun. There's just no good way for this vehicle to cool down the driver. It does a really good job with the global cooling, not in the world, but inside the cabin here, it cools the entire cabin really effectively, these vents, and there are no vents in the back seat, right? They just don't do a good job at like direct air cooling. So that's it's a problem for me in this hot climate, but if it's been sitting in the shade, it cools down really nicely, and the AC in here is ice cold. It's just, it can't direct that airflow very well in here. So let's head back into the office. I think I've said all I wanted to say about the EX30. The driver monitor is really annoying. The cruise control is annoying. No screen right here. If you can get over those things, I think you would really like the EX30. It's fast. It's so fast. It's beautiful. It comes in yellow, which I'm all for. All right, so where does it fit on the spreadsheet, and can we find good deals out there in the wild on this fully electric baby Volvo Pocket Rocket? All right, we're back in the office from the EX30. I just want to show you guys that I'm not alone when it comes to the frustrations with this vehicle, with the driver alert especially. There are other alerts that are also annoying on this vehicle, and I'm not going to get into that, but the driver alert is the most frustrating. It tells you to put your eyes on the road, even if they are on the road, or you're just looking at the touchscreen. But you have to go through the touchscreen and take your eyes off the road because the monitor keeps annoying you, sometimes completely erroneously. All right, so it's, a lot of these people are saying that duct tape works. There's 3D printed ones. There you go. Here's another one, for example. I would have to try the 3D printed ones. And you can see here, it sits off a little bit. And maybe since it sits off a little bit, it works better than the duct tape. Again, the duct tape worked for me once, and then it didn't work, of course, when I was reviewing the vehicle. All right, so it is what it is, and that's a huge consideration for me when buying the car. How good is the experience for the driver? Just because it's fast and smooth and quiet doesn't mean everything, not even close. Well, you can find the twin motors here. Again, I'd pick the Moss Yellow. You can get them for $45K. And again, with any EV, you want to lease these vehicles. You do not want to purchase them, all right? They will depreciate very quickly. In fact, I mean, looking at some used XC40s, which I had a better experience in, again, not quite as fast, maybe not quite as sexy, but more practical for rear person space. You can get an XC40 Recharge used for about the same price. Again, you wouldn't be able to lease this, to give you an idea, but yes, this is a better vehicle, the XC40 is, than the EX30 that we drove today. For example, you can see there are 54 EX30s in my area, within 200 miles anyways, and just 9 EX40s. Man, the EX40 single, these are just still way too expensive. I'd try to find a used, if you're looking to buy a Volvo right now, try to get a good lease deal on this. If you need fully electric, I prefer their plug-in hybrids and their mild hybrids, to be honest. That's just my personal preference. It's a beautiful car, it's fast, but it's just, I feel so compromised in it, despite it being a rocket ship. Where does the Volvo EX30 fall on my list? Is it as good as the Ioniq 5N? Well, you could say in a straight line it's fast, but it's nowhere near the car. It's way better than the Hummer EV SUV, but that's not saying much. Is it better than the SQ6 luxury EV that I drove earlier this year? I don't know. I like driving the Volvo, but you have to jump through hoops to make it drivable without being annoyed. And even then, it can still beep and boop you to death. I'm going to say fire sale only, just because I'm so frustrated with the car. Again, maybe if I had that 3D printed thing, it would not frustrate me as much. But again, the cruise control was very frustrating as well. And the back seat's very limited. It's gorgeous. It's fast. There's a lot of other EVs I'd rather have that cost less money too. All right. So I'm going to put it, I'll put it above the Audi. I don't know. The Audi e-tron was a better vehicle, but it cost almost twice as much than this.
All right, it is better than a Giulia, I would say. So it's fire sale only, meaning lease it for the best prices you can. Beep boop, fast, and it's pretty. There you go. It's fast, pretty. Oh, and I want to put small, very small in the back seat. All right, so there you go. The EX30 is kind of a successor to the old C30, but this one is much smaller, much lighter, probably more fun to drive, despite it not being as fast. Okay, and ooh, you could get it with a manual. Yeah. Anyways, EX30. I'm glad it's in the lineup, and maybe the single motor will change my mind. I don't know. It's just that the nannies in the vehicle were so difficult. There was no physical climate control, no volume knob. I was wrestling with the cruise control. I was wrestling with the eye monitor. And it wasn't honestly, it wasn't all that efficient either. Good looks will take it a long ways, and the speed helps. And it is the fastest car for the money. As simple as that. If all you care about is straight line performance and you can get beep and booped, I really want to drive the Volvo refreshed XC60 and XC90 and the EX90. I think I would. I don't know. I don't know about the EX90, but the XC90 refresh, I really want to test that. I love the XC90. If I was looking at this list, XC90 in the past, it would be an A or S tier, and the XC60 as well. All right. I love those vehicles. The EX30 just didn't live up to my high expectations for Volvo. Also, you guys in the comments, thank you for watching. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the car and my thoughts about it. And have a great day.